Hi everybody, it's Colin here from Woodthorp International. Bit of a sad day today because Colin's Engage is finishing. It's not worked, so it's a case of, it's the end for Colin's Engage. But never mind, life has to continue and stuff like that. So it's a bit sad, really. I've had 10 great years of learning and building the first layout, as you saw, and it was kind of you all to follow us, but things have to end. But Woodthorp International is starting. I finally got into the first shed. Very grateful for Gemma at Stonehill for letting me use a conservatory to do stuff, but it's time to get into the actual main project, and I'm another good customer who's got some land has allowed me to use their shed basically, which is very kind. So this is it. It's 3.8 by 3.8 meters, and this is going to be Japan and America. And what we're going to do, if I just pause it a minute, if you can imagine what's going to happen, is here there's going to be a tunnel coming from the next one in a couple of years' time, where England and Europe's going to be. But I will be running English stuff and everything else on these two layouts, but we're starting in here first. America is going to be at 4 foot, and I'm guessing it's about this height. I don't know what the exact where 4 foot is. And Japan is going to be underneath at 2 foot high. So there's going to be a 2 foot gap, hence the size of the helix. But going back to here, there's going to be 4 lines coming in here, 2 in and through. And what I mean by in and through is, on each level, England's going to be on the lower level. So it can come in here at 2 foot through and go out of that wall into the fiddle yard. But it can also come into Japan and have a run round Japan, and also then go up into America and have a run round there, because there's going to be 1 helix in here and 1 helix in America, in England and Europe. So there'll be 2 lines coming in from England, coming in, 1 in to get to Japan and 1 through, and then 2 out, 1 coming out of Japan and 1 coming out from the fiddle yard. And same with Europe, it can go into America and down into Japan, and they're all going to be connected. So down this line, down this edge, there's going to be a narrow board for that to happen. I'm going to have a workstation built in round here, because this is not going to be scenic. The walls are going to be insulated. The ceiling is going to come down to about that level, the lowest point. So it brings the heat down. I've got permission off the people to do that. It's not a problem. and that'll help the heat, and it'll be plasterboardy, but I'm not going to plaster it. So over here, if you can imagine, this is just in here. They've put this in here for me so I can work on it for now, to finish doing the bridge, the bow, and any maintenance for now, because what I'm going to do is start on this side first. I'm going to put some timber on the wall, put the insulation up in between, and plasterboard it, but that isn't as much of a rush. But that's what I'll be doing first on this side, and then there'll be a board going the full length. Now, this is the station side on America and Japan, and then it's going to come out into the middle of the room, so there's no crawling about in this one, well, in any of them. I haven't got to get my hands and knees to walk in, because it'll come round here. It's going to have to go in front of the window. I can't do that about that. And then it's going to turn back on itself and come back behind trees, hills and that, so it doesn't look, if I film off the track, you're not going to see the other line. And then it's going to come round, but then it's going to come out into the room. And if I can get far enough back, if you can imagine, as you come through these doors here, the helix is going to be right in front of us, virtually on the corner of this table. And then the bridge is going to come round in front of the helix, so when you walk through the doors, the baseboard, the bottom board, Japan, is at 2 foot high, and it comes up to 4 foot, so it'd be right sort of round about stomach height, chest height. You're looking at that bridge with the rock formation, the waterfall behind. And Japan is also going to go under that bridge, but you won't see it. It's only so I can get to it as I've said it past. Then it's going to go back round towards that board again, and then curl back. And in this corner, Japan is going to have this big sea area here, where one line, the outside line, is going to drop down and go out and off to the fiddle yard and come back under the sea, back to if it's going from one island to the other. And then America here, going up virtually not right to the ceiling, if I can get in, maybe to about this height, which is above my head. There's going to be a big mountain coming down here, all in this corner, and I'm going to do that scene what I saw in the 1900s, where they used to get the trees down off the hills coming down on a line, on a winch system, like a funicular, but that's the idea. And it's going to be a heritage site for the past men, showing the people how they used to do it back in those days. But what I'm going to have to do, looking in that way, it's going to be open, but the hillside will curve down, and when I film it from here, the idea is you're not going to see the hole as much, but I need to get in to any of the lines on the America. Japan is going to be open because it's going to be a big sea area. So that's the idea, and then in this area here is going to be the timber yard, showing the mills and stuff, and they're going to have timber not from this heritage area but coming in, tree trunks and stuff, because over here there's going to be a wood yard in this area here, and then it just comes round and it joins onto the helix. So this will be the back side of the helix where the track goes onto it at the bottom in Japan, an up and down line, and this is where the helixes have changed now. For this particular room, it will be, one will be up and one will be down, and when it comes out they'll join on in the right direction. In England and Europe they'll probably be the same, an up and a down, but they're going to have to change track because England drives on the left and the rest drives on the right. So there'll be a point where they have to, like England, if it goes up to Europe, in the middle of the station there's going to be two tracks where they can swap. So they then drive on the right side for going around Europe. But for now, it's just in here doing America first and then Japan. Then it's going to go out that way into the fiddle yard levels, and then I'll show you them when I get to them, but it's going to be in here. It's a big project. There's 75 points in all, over all the rooms, the sheds. There's a lot of flexi-trap, lots of it, but I'm in no rush. We'll get on with it. We'll do scenery as we're building. You know, we're not going to do all the track work and then come back and do scenery. As I'm building, I'm probably going to start putting scenery in. I'm quite set on the plans. There might be a bit of tweaking as I'm laying. I might find certain things will work better, but I won't know until I start that part. But I've got the carpet down with the thickest underlay you can put on. That's just to stop the coal coming upwards. The boards, these boards, what around the wall, are as thick as those purlins, but there's, you know, they don't stop coal coming through. But they're just better than a normal shed panelling. But I'm going to put some insulation up, and I'll show you that as I do it. But the first thing is I'm going to put the helix. It's not going to be at the right height to start with to show you today. I'm just going to put it in place and then try and put the bridge round just to show you what I'm up to with those two products. The boat will come in here. Might put the boat on this wall for now for temporary storage, just so I don't need that yet until I get to England, but I needed to see if I could build it to keep the plans going. So Woodthorp, I'm going to be known as now just Woodthorp International instead of Collins Engage. My name still might be on YouTube. I might still put underneath formerly known as Collins Engage, so anybody try to find me, they'll see the name, but it is just going to be Woodthorp International from now on. I'll show you all the names of the stations It's really easy, but it's quite interesting how they're spelt, of course. And the next time you see it, there's going to be all the stuffing, my boxes, to get them into here, make me feel better, make it feel like my training room, and the helix, like I say. May have to just move the table a little bit, but we'll see. Right, so the names. Hence why we're calling it Woodthorp International, because the English station and layout is going to be called Woodthorp. Now, some people may say, you've not got an E on it. My second part of the name is Thorpe, and I don't have an E on. And Wood is my job for 40 odd years. So there's a connection there. And that's why it's in England, because that's me. Now, America is called Woodthorpe, but it has an E on. So that's slightly different. And then European is Woodthorpe again, but a gap and an E. And Holtz, if I've said that right, is a way of explaining finished wood. It's different when you say wood off a tree, but I'm more this stuff than the trees. So that's why that is going to be called the station there. And Japan is called this. And that says Woodthorpe. So this is why when Sir Paul Sheedy said to me one day, it's like, you know, it's going to be Woodthorp International, and it's stuck. And I think it's spot on. And that's why they're all going to be called Woodthorpe, but in their own languages, of course. And this also, the Japanese do it in English as well. But that's how it's said in Japanese. So that's why it's going to be called Woodthorp International. So that's how it's going to be when you open the door, and that's what you're going to see is that scene. So as you walk in, the layout will work eventually. Yeah, so this will be looking back on it. It's not exactly in the right place. What will happen is it's going to be 2 foot to that point, so it's going to be up here and then it comes up, and naturally the bridge will be higher. But sorry, I'm out of breath because lifting that helix, it's heavy, but it's done very well because we had to turn it on its edge to get it in, and you know, it was just solid, so that was good. But it's like I say, it's not exactly in the right place because it's going to have to move over to the left and back into the room a bit. But I need to still work on this bridge. So for now, that's all I'm going to be doing. But I thought it would be interesting. Now, what is interesting when you see the container ship in front of it? I mean, it's not going to be like that, of course, and it looks like it's sat on top of the yellow submarine, doesn't it? But it just brings in all the different sizes wise, the different things. The boat looks big, but does it look as big now going up against that, or is the bridge a whopper? Well, I think we know it is a whopper, but and that's the ship. It's moved dry docks, it's come down into here now, so I can work on it in here. So going back to this, all this area here, going round on the inside, you can imagine in here, all's going to be rock face and greenery and stuff. And then there may be a waterfall coming down this way, down towards this gap here, and then have a small river coming out here, or a stream, and it'll also continue here and then close off. And underneath, as I keep stressing, is Japan will be at this level down here, but at the 2 foot high mark, going round underneath the bridge, and all this land here will come down and hide that track, but at least we'll be able to get our hand in if anything comes off. Shouldn't do, because it's just going to be on a curve and there's no points, no nothing. But if you want to clean the track, if we don't send a wagon through, you know, if we want to give it a rub with a track rubber or a cloth, we can do, because we're able to get our hand in. So if that was the bottom of the land there, this land will come out a bit and then just stop about there. So when you're looking down at it, you won't be able to see underneath. And that's just so Japan has the same amount of running space as the American layout. And I have been putting the handrail on up to here, and I've put a safety platform on. I've decided I was going 3, 4, then 5, putting these little platforms just so it's somewhere for the men to work, you know, standing. And they only need them if there's 2 trains coming, because not forgetting when the track is on here, there won't be the big, you know, holes going through, there'll be the sleepers. But if there was working here and there was a train coming on the inside, they'd just be able to step across and be safe on this side. So I've decided I'm going to put 2 on this outer edge and 1 in the middle, and then that's it. That, from there to there, I think it was 72 metres in the scale length, what it represents, which isn't that far for a man if there was walking on and a train was coming. Now, I don't know how the Americans work. They might work with detonators like we do over here and lay some down. And if you can imagine here, with this rock face coming up here, it's going to go to a tunnel here and then over the helix and probably cover all of the helix up. And if we need to get in, we'll be able to get in underneath, because there'll be a 2 foot gap and we'll be able to just go on our back and, you know, put the body up. So that's the plan. But I've done all the running boards, and what I've tried to do with these running boards is make them look like they're shrunk and moved and not in line, because when it rains, the water's going to sit on this more than on the edge of this. It'll just run off. So there had to be, I had to try and, well, personally, I thought we had to try and make it look like it suffered from the water a bit, and I've really tried to stress the different colours, what's happened, you know, with the weather and, you know, things like that. So I've only got round here today. Up to this point, I think there's still 207 pieces of running board to put on. Never mind all these handrails. The handrail itself is alright, it's just a post. I'll show you a little jig I made. It's just a simple jig. I'll just go and get that because it's not got into here yet. Yeah, so this is the little jig. Basically, it's got just a little bit of a rebate on there. So I sit it to the underneath side of that, and then the post sits on that little bit stuck out, and then it's square up. I'm making them longer so I don't have to worry about if it is a little bit up, if there's a little bit of muck on the bottom of there or whatever. And then I put that back on like that and just rest some small cutters, and it just cuts it as easy as wing. And then I stick the rail and the kicking board, which is there, to it. I do the kicking board first because that is stuck this way as well as to the post, so it gives a bit more strength for putting that one on. But what I do is I just put a dab of glue on onto the post, and I rest that on and then lift the rail up to the underneath of it and push it against the post, move it away, squeeze it, gone off. So that's my little jig. The track is coming today, the code 80 to stick on there, but I've got to go all the way around yet. But it's meant to be coming today. It's had 3 goes. It got to York from the east coast, up near Whitby. It couldn't get from York to here. So that's that. So I hope you'll join us on this journey. I am so excited. I don't know if I've shown you these. These are the bridge extensions just to get from this first truss to the land. The land will come to here, and these will sit inside the land, and the one on that side there. But no, I think looking down inside there with all the rocks and bit of greenery, you won't see it so much looking through. It's a little place you've got to look into. That's the idea. But like I say, this just isn't it's not in the right place because it's not set up. But it was just to show you the start, what my plans are. So thanks very much for all the extra subscribers and all the support. People are saying it's great, and I hope you enjoy what I do in here with Japan on the lower level and America on the upper level. But like I say, English stuff will be running in here for now, because and European stuff, because this is the first place I'm starting. So thanks very much, and I'll keep you up to date with what's going on. Bye for now. Bye.